NNRG.
I kind of noticed something here. If it's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that's kind of popular, or at least noteworthy in some way, it ended up as an NES game. But if it's one of his less popular works, it somehow ends up as a Commodore 64 game. Cause I know virtually nothing about Red Heat, the movie, but here we are with Red Heat, the game. It's in a tape file, so let's get it started. So, okay, it's, doing weird characters in the top corner. I guess that's one way to show that it's loading. So, oh, we got a Fairlight intro, the home of the real crackers, of course. Okay, so I'm actually blanking a bit of this at the moment because of swearing, but it says here 2 members die and Fairlight mourn the loss. Was there like actual deaths or something? Not quite sure about that. Let's move on here. Whoa. Okay, we got this. Wait, what? What is this? Okay, so it says here, all Swedish hackers, crackers, and freakers couldn't have failed to hear about the incredibly stupid and naive announcements made by the blundering idiot Karl XII on national Swedish TV. Due to the fact a number of people have come under the watchful eye of the Swedish authorities, these include the following celebrities: Eric, Oscar for Best Motor Mouth, Viper, Bacchus, 2 other members of Fairlight, namely Zaphon and the Alchemist, decided to quit computing on the wrong side of the law. Tony is selling his hardware and is just going to leave the scene as from today. Adrian freaked and has stopped cracking, hacking, and freaking entirely. What he's going to do now is anyone's guess, but one thing is sure, no more cracks from our good friend the Alchemist. Bye, dude. Okay, apparently something went wrong with the group because, yeah, that seems like one heck of an event. Now, I have no idea, like, what's going on with any of this, because I was not part of any of that demo scene stuff, but if anyone knows exactly what this is in reference to, like what actually happened, feel free to comment on it, because we got like a piece of history from this side of the story right here. Anyways, let's actually move on here. So, okay, I think it's loading something. Okay, starting level. Okay, the joystick doesn't do it. Arrow keys aren't going to do it. Plus minus does it. Okay, that's kind of, whatever's up with this game, there's only 4 levels. Okay then. So I guess we'll just go starting level 1. Enter. So infinite energy, infinite lives, infinite ammo, none of that. And there we go, Red Heat. The heat is on, and the chase is in full cry as Moscow's toughest detective and Chicago's craziest cop hunt down Victor Rostovili. I didn't catch that. Most wanted Soviet drug dealer. Okay. So play the game, watch the movie, or wait, is it telling us like look out for Red Heat available from your local video stocks? This is a very weird intro. Well, okay, it came from Ocean. Like, Ocean Software just kind of published whatever they could get their hands on in terms of licensed properties, so... Wait, it just said important. Extra energy will be awarded on completion of all sub-games, i.e. light up the dollar bill. In order to achieve this, you must position the joystick and okay, so it's giving us very basic information about the puzzle sequences in the game. I should mention that during my initial startup to make sure that this was all working and everything, I did end up reading the manual because I wasn't sure if I had the controls correct, because it's a little awkward despite how incredibly simple this is. So I've played a minute of it. I haven't seen the puzzle game, but maybe we'll see it. Let's actually just get into it here. So we got a start, we got a sound effects, and we got joystick. So Okay, it's one of these games where you can't have both sound and music at the same time. So we'll go for music. Just works out better in terms of a video. We can do joystick or key. Okay, that's kind of annoying. If you hit the joystick button with the joystick button, it goes to keyboard. Now you can't switch it back with the joystick button. You gotta push the space bar. It's kind of weird. Anyways, start. So stage 1, the hothouse. So yeah, this is us. I'm guessing that's Arnold. And then, oh, we're getting ganged up on here. Okay, so the controls are weird. We can move left and right, we can duck, we can headbutt by holding the fire button and pressing up, or we can punch by holding the fire button and pressing left or right. And the weird thing is, pushing left gives you a forward punch. Like, you can't face backwards in this game. So, yeah. Also, I'm already low on energy. These guys are just ganging up on me. But yeah, apparently we're just beating up a bunch of people in a sauna, so I guess that's something. I think the goal of each level is to just sort of get to the end. And, well, I guess we ran out of energy. So we start over again, I guess? Okay, so what I'm seeing here is that the punch has a bigger delay to come out, but it has a longer range than the headbutt. But the headbutt is faster, so if you got multiple people up close, you want to use the headbutt. But if they're further away, you want to use the punch. And also, I noticed the guy threw something at me a moment ago, so that wasn't very cool. Oh, now we got stuff falling from the ceiling? What? Oh, there's something on the floor there. Although I gotta get up to it first. Jeez. It's tricky to tell when they're gonna gang up on you or not. It almost seems like random whether they're gonna move fast or move slow. I mean, you can't really, Geez, this isn't going very well. If you're not holding the button down, you can move back and forth, and that's as far forward as you can move. So I'm guessing the trick is to, like... He threw something at me again. I think you can duck under stuff, but I think the trick here is you just gotta keep progressing forward. The more time you spend standing still, the worse it is for you. Now, fortunately, you can push the fire... You can, like, hold the fire button down, and so long as you're not pushing a direction, you will just keep walking. So it almost seems, like, pointless to have the ability to move back and forth. Although I guess you can get out of the range of attacks by doing that. But then if you move too far back, you might, put yourself in a situation where you can't really advance any further. Okay, I have no idea what this is. I think it's a power-up of some kind. Okay, it says pick up. Oh, that actually restored my energy. Okay, that's nice. Also, I'm noticing the red heat logo has sort of been filling in. I think that's indicating our progress through the level. So, the further we get into the level, the more the red heat logo fills in. Although I just have to hope I can actually make it to the end, because there's a lot of dudes and they're all ganging up on me. Yeah, I'm running low on energy again, but this time there's no power-up in sight, so this is hard. Like, I'm not sure, like, what the trick is to this. Like, there might be a trick, I'm not sure, but yeah, that didn't go so well. Oh no, that's kind of a cool effect with the high scores. They're kind of like on film reels, and they're sort of like viewed from overhead. So you gotta punch in the letters by cycling the wheels to the appropriate spots. That's kind of neat. Okay, well, let's give that another shot. Maybe I just need to do better. Well, I also don't know, like, how long each stage actually is. So, I'm just gonna maybe find out. I guess the trick is I just gotta get used to attacking. It seems to just be timing. If you get your timing right, you get the hit in, and if you get your timing wrong, you just get your butt handed to you. Okay, like, I don't seem to be doing too bad, but at the same time, I'm not that far through the level, I don't think. Or, geez, running low on energy again. Yeah, that is really tough. Like, there seem to be multiple enemy types as well, and I think that might be playing a factor into how you're supposed to dispatch them. So it looks like there's 4 different kinds of enemy types. At least that's what it looks like from what I'm seeing so far. Maybe knowing what kind of attack to use against what enemies is the key to survival here. Like maybe certain enemies are just easier to take down with certain attacks. Yeah, so for the particular enemy, like the one in front of me that has the shades, well, I got rid of them already, but those particular tall enemies with the shades, it seems like the best way to get rid of them is with headbutts. So yeah, these kinds of enemies right here, because they come in right close and then just try to headbutt you. So if you headbutt them back, that seems to be the better approach. Also, something that you're not going to notice from the gameplay here, this is actually surprisingly hard on my hands. I don't know why. It's like all you're doing is holding the fire button down and pressing directions on the D-pad. Well, D-pad for me, it'd be a joystick for if you aren't using an actual C64 joystick, but the thing is, it's still surprisingly hard to do. Like, it's like wearing on my hands trying to do it, and I think it's because there's such a huge delay in your actions that you don't feel like you're having an effect, so you end up holding the button harder just by instinct. Also, I'm not liking the fact that the game does seem random in terms of what it throws at you. Like, this time around, I'm having a heck of a time trying to get to the power-up there to restore my energy, whereas the last life I had, I got there real easily. So it really is just random luck, just how many enemies you're dealing with and whether or not you're getting the timing right as a result of that. Okay, you know what? I take back what I said about the controls for one simple reason. If you hold the button down, then you constantly attack over and over again. But the game is actually registering the inputs with surprising accuracy. So even though there's a delay with the inputs, you just have to tap, like a light tap, and it will work. So despite the delay, you can be real fast with the controls and it will detect it. Wait, I see another power-up in the background there. At least I'm assuming it's a power-up. It stands out compared to all the graphics. So now that I'm playing a little better, maybe we'll actually get to that power-up and I'll actually be able to figure out what it is. So hopefully we get to it. We're almost there. I have no idea what's going on. I picked up the item and now it's just sort of sizzling? What am I supposed to do? Oh, wait. Oh, is this one of those things where you have to wiggle back and forth? I'm not sure. Like, when I push left and right, it's like... Yeah, it was doing something. I'm not sure what was going on there. Oh, but it actually put me back into the stage here. Although, I'm not sure if that's just... Oh, I don't have any lives left anyway, so it doesn't matter. Jeez. Okay, one thing I've noticed is that if you're ducking, no one seems to be able to hit you. Yeah, like... Oh, wait, never mind, they are able to hit me. But you don't seem to, like... You don't seem to have the same sort of, knockback? So I'm guessing that ducking does have some ancillary purposes besides just dodging out of the way of the knives that are being thrown. At least I think they're knives. But yeah, if you start getting ganged up on, it seems like the best strategy isn't to back away, but it's to duck and then do a headbutt immediately following. Because you can get that headbutt off before you actually get stun locked, and that seems to really help. Okay, I seem to be doing okay. I've still got a good bit of energy left. But they've been throwing a ton of enemies at me. I mean, one thing that I find a little disappointing is that there's no score counter on screen. Which the game is clearly keeping score, like there's a high score table immediately following, but instead of actually displaying the scores on screen, instead it's just the red heat logo that gets more filled in as you get further into a level. Okay, let's figure this thing out again. So it doesn't seem to be a straight wiggle because I'm wiggling as fast as I can, and doesn't seem to do it. It's only left and right that are affecting it as well. Unless there's like a rhythm, unless you gotta push the fire button as well. Well, that doesn't seem to do it either. I don't understand how you're supposed to get that up. Now, I have 2 lives left here as it puts me back in the level, so I'm hoping that that also acts as a checkpoint, but I'm not keeping my hopes up on that one. Okay, moment of nope, it was not a checkpoint. So, wow, they expect you to go through a lot of dudes in order to actually get to the next level. That's kind of insane. And again, it's totally random. Like, there's not a set pattern of enemies or anything. If there was a set pattern of enemies, this would actually be, like, somewhat enjoyable, because then you could actually get used to the patterns and then choose your attacks accordingly. But no, this is totally random. Sometimes it's real easy, and sometimes it's just brutally difficult. Also, I'm noticing sometimes I take an enemy down in a single hit, and sometimes it takes multiple hits, and I'm not entirely certain what's up with that. But we got this thing again. So, fire button does nothing, up does nothing, and down does nothing. Left or right pushes it up slightly. So, like, I'm doing this as fast as I can, and it's just not moving. Unless there's like a rhythm to it, I really don't understand why this doesn't work. I guess there's one possibility that maybe it's a factor of the game that wasn't cracked properly, so as a result of that, it's not working properly, and thus it's making the game virtually impossible. So maybe you actually have to use the trainers to win as a result of that. But then you never know. Like, I mean, I'm actually making progress in the stage here, so maybe we'll make it to the end. I don't have a lot of health left, though. I mean, I'm getting there, but I'll be very surprised if I survive to the end. But then we've got another power-up on the ground there. Maybe we can make it to that at least? No, I'm very dead. Okay, that was Red Heat. It's interesting. Like, I mean, it's basically just a run to one side and beat up all the dudes that come in your way. So, it's very simple for what it is. That was an app symbol. Not that I care, it's not like these are being saved. But, yeah, it's a very simple game, but the difficulty is through the roof because there's too much RNG. Like, if this was less random and you actually had patterns to the enemies that were coming on, then you'd actually have some strategy going on. You could, like, get some muscle memory built up, figure out optimal thing to do in certain situations, and it would actually make it fun. But because this is totally random what you fight and when, it just doesn't have that same feel to it. It just feels like luck, whether you're gonna succeed or fail. Also, I managed to find this, which is apparently another game called Red Heat, made by the Demon Boys, B-O-Y-Z, of the Criminal Empire. And there's literally no information about this thing other than that, so...